Alexander Isak is making the Premier League his playground. He's not just scoring goals, he's doing it with style, with confidence, and with the kind of talent that makes you stop and take notice.
Talk best number 9s in the world. Is he top 1, top 3, top 5, top 10? Where is he?
He is in top 3 still with in terms of potential.
Newcastle United's wild 4-3 win over Nottingham Forest had everything but one of the biggest storylines. Isak, the guy just keeps delivering. He bagged 2 more goals. Not his flashiest ever, but they pushed his season total to 19. Just 3 more and he'll hit a new personal best for the club. And let's be honest, at the rate he's going, that feels like a matter of when and not if. But here's where it gets even better. Oh, that second goal.
Away from his man on the far side, into Isak in the area. Isak is there!
It wasn't just another tally on the board. It was his 50th in the Premier League, and he did it in just 76 games. That's insane. Only 6 players in the history of the league have ever hit 50 goals faster. That's the kind of stat that puts you in legendary company. In fact, he's so good that people are starting to throw his name around with a player many consider the greatest the Premier League has ever seen. But if Isak is this talented, why isn't everybody talking about him? If you're watching and haven't subscribed to Kick Through Serb yet, now's the perfect time. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. All set? Great, let's dive in. Now, one reason Isak might not be getting as much hype is his background. He didn't rise through some world-famous club or have a clear, straight shot path to the top. And even though he sounds like he's from the UK...
When did he go down?
What did you put?
No, you know when he went down?
It wasn't about hairlines, was it?
No. Yeah, it could have been. He was down before that.
What did you put him down for?
I put him down. I said, is he early in for training?
Yeah, he's early.
No, but I see him on the road when I come to training.
Nah.
Yeah.
I him for like 10 to 9.
Yeah, I'd say most early.
10 to 9, bro. Some people are here like...
His football journey actually kicked off in Sweden. His big break came at AIK, where he made his first team debut on February 28, 2016. Just 16 years old, stepping onto the pitch. No pressure, right? Well, if he was nervous, he didn't show it. Because not only did he play, he scored. AIK smashed their opponents 6-0, and Isak had just announced himself in style. That performance was so good that he earned a spot in the starting lineup for the next game. And what did he do? Scored again. At just 16 years and 199 days old, he became the youngest player ever to score for AIK in Sweden's top league. At this point, it was clear the kid was different. AIK wasted no time in locking him down with his first professional contract in May 2016, and he quickly became a key player. Then came the game that really put him on the map, a massive rivalry match against Djurgården. Isak didn't just show up, he stole the show, scoring twice in a 3-0 win. That's when people started paying attention. One of his teammates even called him the new Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now, let's be real. Comparing a 17-year-old to one of the greatest Swedish players ever, that's a huge statement. Zlatan himself would probably roll his eyes because, well, nobody is Zlatan except Zlatan. Still, the hype was real. Isak finished his time in Sweden with 13 goals in 29 games, and the big clubs came calling. He ended up in Borussia Dortmund, a club famous for turning young talent into superstars. Now, within the football world, scouts already knew about Isak. But to the average fan, he was just a name. And unfortunately, any excitement around him started to fade fast when he struggled to break into Dortmund's first team. He eventually scored his first official goal for Dortmund in the German Cup in 2018, but that was about it. Just a couple of years earlier, he was being called the next Zlatan. Now, he was mostly just warming the bench. At the 2018-19 season, things had hit rock bottom. He didn't play a single game for Dortmund. So in search of minutes and a fresh start, he was sent out on loan to Willem II Tilburg in the Dutch league. And this move turned out to be a game changer. He needed a fresh start, and boy, did he take full advantage. He got back to scoring, netting against Vitesse, and then coming up clutch in the KNVB Cup, scoring both the equalizer and the winning penalty against AZ Alkmaar.
Charlie ligt neer, Pavlidis daar, Isak vrijgespeeld, die moet hem nu maken. En dat doet hij bij deze. Wedstrijd scoorde hij. Nu vanaf 11 meter scoort hij ook en maakt hij 2-0.
That win sent William II to their first KNVB Cup final since 2005. Talk about making an impact. But just when it seemed like his career was finally taking off, he returned to Dortmund and barely got a chance. Instead of building on his momentum, they sold him to Real Sociedad. New team, new country, another shot at proving himself, and he wasted no time. 4 goals in 5 preseason games. Then he backed it up with his first official goal in a 3-1 win over Espanyol. After that, he just kept going, finding the net against Celta Vigo, Barcelona, and Osasuna. Before we continue, if you're loving the video so far, make sure to subscribe to Kicks with Seb so you never miss out on awesome content like this. Now, let's get back to the video. In La Liga, he got regular minutes, 37 appearances, 9 goals, plus an assist. A solid season, and most importantly, he wasn't stuck on the bench like at Dortmund. But if there was one moment that really put him on the map, it was the 2020 Copa del Rey. 7 goals, 2 assists. He carried Real Sociedad to their first major trophy since 1987. And the highlight? A jaw-dropping performance against Real Madrid.
där och lägger in den till Isak. Och där kommer 2-0. Isak får bollen. Isak!
That was the night everyone knew Isak was special. And somehow, he got even better the next season. He nearly doubled his La Liga goal tally, finishing with 17. That hat-trick against Alaves was historic. He became the first Swedish player to score a La Liga hat-trick since 1949. Let that sink in. Not Larsson, not even Zlatan. The last time a Swede pulled this off, World War II had just ended. That's insane. But the next season, not quite as electric. He finished with just 10 goals in all competitions and spent most of the year battling a hamstring injury. That definitely slowed him down. Still, he had already proven just how talented he was. And Newcastle, they were ready to bet big on him.
Breaking transfer news has just reached us, and Newcastle have confirmed the signing of Alexander Isak for a club record £63 million. That smashes.
Now, was it a risk? Absolutely. £63 million is a massive price tag for a player who's really only had one truly world-class season. Sure, he had flashes of brilliance before and after, but was that enough to justify such a huge investment? Newcastle thought so. They saw his potential and believed he could become a superstar. And right away, Isak started proving them right, scoring in his very first game against Liverpool. Then finding the net again just a few weeks later against Bournemouth. But then, bam, injury. Just like that, and he was out for weeks. For most players, that kind of setback would take a while to bounce back from. Not Isak. He returned like he never left. Scored the winner against Fulham, bagged 2 against Nottingham Forest, then absolutely ran riot against Spurs, scoring twice in a 6-1 demolition. And if that wasn't enough, he went full magician mode against Everton, weaving through defenders like they weren't even there before setting up Jacob Murphy for a goal.
To get a fourth Newcastle into the corner. He's taking on 2. Oh, he's beaten them. It's wonderful skill from Isak. What a run, Alexander Isak! It's going to go in! It's Jacob Murphy! Murphy has scored! But Isak gets all the congratulations after some absolutely...
And right after that game, even Eddie Howe had to admit it. He sees the similarities between Isak and Thierry Henry.
Yeah, I can see the comparisons there. I think everyone is different, you know, there's no 2 players that are the same, but I do think he has some of the characteristics that Thierry had. Certainly got the speed and a similar build and frame.
The very next season, Isak took things up a notch. 21 Premier League goals. But for as incredible as his season was, it was also frustrating. Those groin injuries kept popping up, forcing him to miss games when he was just building momentum. But for as incredible as his season was, it was also frustrating. Those groin injuries kept popping up, forcing him to miss out games when he was just building momentum. But if there's one thing we've learned about Isak, it's that when he's fit, he's a problem. And in April, he reminded everyone. 1 against the Wolves, 2 against West Ham, another against Everton, just unstoppable. Watching this guy play is something else. He's got unreal technical ability, and when he's in front of the goal, he makes it look easy. You watch him and just get it. This is why people compare him to Henry. He's that good. And he's not just padding stats against weaker teams. This season, he's put goals past some of the biggest clubs in England. Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Man United, no easy games there. What makes him so dangerous is how complete he is. He can dribble past defenders defenders like they're cones, but he's also deadly in the box, tapping in those simple finishes, and in the air, a legit threat. That's rare. Most strikers don't have it all, but Isak does. And honestly, the Premier League is the perfect stage for him. The pace, the intensity, it all just suits his game. Even he's admitted he's scoring more because of the way football is played in England. And let's be real, when he's fit, I think he's the best forward in the league. Think about it. Haaland needs service. Isak can pull magic out of nowhere. Nicholas Jackson is nowhere near as clinical. And Arsenal? They don't even have someone in the same stratosphere. Liverpool? Nunez and Jota are not even in the conversation. And just so we're clear, when I say forward, I mean the proper number 9. A central striker. Obviously, Salah is a better overall player than Isak. No argument there. But in that striker role, I don't think anyone comes close to him.
It's a lovely step away from McAllister. Isak. Oh, terrific strike.
Alexander Isak for over £100 million? Newcastle says that's the price. And honestly, I don't think it's crazy at all. The only thing keeping him from full-blown superstardom? Injuries. But here's what makes him special. Most players struggle to get back to their best after a time on the sidelines. Not Isak. He gets injured, comes back, and boom, he's straight back to scoring goals. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I'm overhyping him. Just watch. The big clubs are already paying attention. Arsenal reportedly wanted him in January, but Newcastle wasn't having it. And what about Manchester United? If there's any team crying out for a proper striker, it's them. No disrespect to Rasmus Højlund or Joshua Zirkzee. Okay, maybe a little, but let's be honest. Neither of them have the clinical finisher United needs. Zirkzee isn't even a true number 9. He's admitted as much. And between him and Højlund, just 5 Premier League goals. 5. Isak, meanwhile, 19. And remember, this is Newcastle we're talking about, not a club stacked with world-class talent in every position. They've only recently broken into the Premier League top tier, and Isak is a massive reason why. So, could he be the player to help drag Manchester United back to the top? Maybe, because right now, let's be real, it's just sad to watch them. But why on earth would Newcastle let him go? Especially to United. Sure, United is a massive club, but right now, joining them would be a gamble. They're closer to a relegation scrap than a title challenge. If Isak does leave, it might all come down to whether Newcastle makes the Champions League. Right now, they're only behind Manchester City in 4th place in goal difference. If they make the top 4 again, like they did a couple of seasons ago, he probably stays. One thing's for sure, if he keeps banging in goals, people will keep talking. Isak is already one of the best strikers in the Premier League, maybe even in the world. And if he keeps playing like this, soon enough, everyone is going to be talking about him.